Hello and welcome to the 6 months to six figure series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. I'm your host, Zach Swinehart. In this series, we will follow a specific freelancer, in this case, Maia, as I coach them from early stages to earning a six-figure annual income, which comes out to $8,333 a month. Maia has already blown past that, so now we've reframed it into six figures in her pocket. That's like the new goal. I feel like we're coming up on six months. Got to check the time on that soon, figure out what we're going to do. But anyway, we meet every week or two, follows pretty similar format to the Accelerator community. So if you want to get coaching just like this, one-on-one in Zoom with me, you can check that out at dyf.link/DYFA. So let's dive in. Today's going to be a quick session. Maia's already had 3 kickoff calls this morning, and it's like, what time is it even for you in New York right now?
It's 10 a.m. Good morning.
So somebody is driven and hungry. I remember when I was in my 20s and driven and hungry. Oh, what a time it was. Now I'm just tired. So what do you want to chat about today, Maia? What would be a good takeaway from the session today?
I think first I want to celebrate we're at 13K this month.
Ooh.
Crazy month, really. I still can't believe it. I'm seeing the numbers and I'm tripping. So I just wanted to celebrate that. Thank you, Zach, for being my coach.
And the month's honestly not even over.
Yeah. I know. It's insane. But that's how much I charge the 1st, the 15th, and the 30th, depending on when the client wants to be charged. But on the 30th, I should have total, I have 7,000 now. I should have total 13 on the bank.
Okay, cool.
So celebrating that. Yeah, insane, really. But yeah, last week I had 1 kickoff call. This week I've had 4 mentoring calls. Really amazing. I'm feeling very confident as a coach. And then today, 2 kickoff calls that also were really effective. I've been presenting branding options before starting to do the branding, and that has been super effective. And in December,
and what do you mean by that? Presenting branding options before starting?
So normally what I do is that the kickoff call is kind of like a strategy call. I do a big market research and show competitors, but not so much competitors. It's this is what other people are doing. We could do something like this, something like that. What do you like about this brand? What do you not like about this brand? And now I'm presenting color, type, and just brand in general. And I have people say, oh, I really like this. Oh, I really don't like this. And I go, I don't advise you to use this type of branding, even though you're inclined to it, because it doesn't resonate with the type of person you want to talk to. And today, the 2 calls, we pretty much nailed down. They approved the typeface. They were like, oh my God, I love this typeface. Let's use it, which is a pain in the ass sometimes that, you don't get it right. Colors, they nailed. And I feel like I just have to go in and design the actual identity. And nice. I do feel how I've been templatizing, productizing, whatever you want to say, my process with clients. Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like it kind of mirrors what I found in my web design business as well. I, near the end, shifted my model to work live with clients whenever I could. I had the online in a day service offering. And even after I got too old and tired for that one, I still like to do live overlap. And it's that exact thing, all the back and forth, trying to sort out the colors and the fonts. It's just so many delays. It's really nice to just knock it out. And I think that's so freaking cool that you have that in the kickoff call now. So that's a cool lesson for anyone listening is what things do you need to get from the client ASAP in order to make good autonomous decisions later and make your job easier later. So that's very cool. Nice job.
That's what I'm thinking. And the other amazing part is that I record all my meetings. I ask them because I send them after, and then I just ask my team instead of briefing them, because before I was grabbing mood board, grabbing typographies, let's do this, let's do that. It's done. I can give them that, and I just tell them, can you watch the last 10 minutes of the meeting? So nice. That I just started implementing that, and Mali gave me feedback that she really liked it because she can hear the client say, I don't really like that, and then she can say, oh, I have another idea that is not Maia's. But they can also train to understand how a client works in real life instead of just working with the art director's brief, which is really exciting.
And you know what you could do? I'm going to share my screen first. I won't even share my screen. I'll just read it off. I use this tool called Fathom. So if you go to fathom.video, it's, I use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this AI note taker, but what I really like about it are all of these little markings that you can make. So I use them for podcast episodes. So I have one for like cut, one for gem, one for chapter, all this kind of stuff. But would be really cool for you if you're going to have team members reviewing just parts of your calls. You could create different Fathom highlights for like different types of things. So like you click one when you're talking about typography or colors or whatever, like, or just a generalized one like brand guide, so that your team members can just like very easily pull it up and fast forward to that exact part. It just connects to Zoom. So that might be something worth, I know you're not a really techie person, but it might be something that you would like.
No, I like it. Like what I've been doing with all meetings actually is that I download the transcript of Loom and I put it on ChatGPT. And now I have like a GPT that is like meeting GPT, because you know that now you can create different ones. So it's like, okay, I am a brand designer. This is how I take notes. This is how I send the recap emails to clients. So I'm doing that with my team too, to also give them like a recap of the whole meeting. But Fathom is cool also if I start using Zoom, because I'm a Google Meet type of girl.
I think it works with Google Meet as well. You can check. I think it might be Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Zoom. You can check.
I'll check.
But the interface, I will share my screen for a second just to show you. The interface looks like this. So basically when I'm on this call with you, I have way too many. I need to pull this down or like trim it down. But what I can do is like, if I'm on an interview and Maia says something cool about, so like raised rates at 13K. So I can just like write my little tiny notes about it, and it'll kind of add a marker to it in Fathom so that somebody can like quickly go to it, find the notes, that kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that actually.
I digress. This is not the mission critical stuff you want to chat about today. I just nerd out a little bit.
No, but it's cool because I'm actually like super interested. I just enrolled in a really good course of like brand design with ChatGPT and DALL-E, because I've been using it a lot and it's amazing, honestly. Like I do ask a lot of things, like this client has this problem for coaching pretty much that I'm learning a lot. So I just like ask ChatGPT, like, my client is having this problem. This is my idea. What do you suggest? What are other coaches doing? Because a lot of my clients are coaches, or what are other nutritionists doing? So technology is something that I'm seeing that is really helping me. And I'm just really interested in like streamlining my process, because I can see what you meant. I am going to be really booked. Like I'm going to get really booked, and I need to optimize, and I need to train my team so they're more autonomous.
Yeah. I think that you're starting to hit the, I'm really glad that you heeded my recommendations to do your time tracking and stuff earlier, because you can imagine how much of a clusterfuck this would be right now if you didn't have that. But you're starting to get to that point where it becomes kind of like non-optional to know where your time costs are and your hours go and stuff. So I think your time tracking habits are about to serve you really, really well as you go into this next phase. So I'm excited to pour over the data soon.
Yeah, and I'm also like, a recommendation that you gave me when you saw my time tracking beautiful Notion template was that to include certain things. And now on the project, like when I click on the project, if you see my task manager, you would die. It's so beautiful. But now on the project, like I have like fulfilling costs by me, by Mali, hours onboarding. I also like, I'm adding notes. What would I optimize next time? So I'm at that stage of like creating like a franchise, almost a blank page.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the way you want to be. So that's great. Go you. So
I mean, go you. Honestly, you've inspired me so much and being super nerdy about this stuff. So
well, I appreciate that. I mean, I've been very impressed by your ass kicking. So we can just say go us. How about that?
Yes, go us.
So for today, I'm tired and I'm in like holiday mode. I don't want to do anything. My brain's not working. So I just want to make sure I'm on the right track today. What did you say would be an ideal takeaway for you today?
This, what we're doing right now, just bouncing. Like,
is there a specific type of thing you want to get feedback on, or a specific type of direction you're not sure about, or a specific type of hurdle that's coming up that you're worried about? Like what would be the targeted thing that you think could use the Zach's brain the most?
Let's see if we have time for this, because I think it would be really cool to talk about an idea to scale my program Essence, which is the one that I always said that is non-scalable, the one that is for like Basecamp, for brands, packaging, scalable, because you can have many deliverables. Essence, non-scalable, according to me, because it's a personal brand and you only need certain things. But since it has so much coaching, and since I am the living proof of you can just have a personal brand and make a 6-figure business, honestly, I want to give that to people, and that should cost way more than 4.2K. Like the value of that, I can really change the package of like the service and rework it a little bit, but I'm starting to understand that what I do has way more value than what I charge for, which is a great feeling. And I think I want to like reframe Essence into like, I want to make you into a social media powerhouse, and you can book clients there and not be overwhelmed, and like workflows, efficiency, social media strategy, everything.
I think that sounds great. It's so funny to hear you talking about this, because like it wasn't so long ago that you were like, Zach, I'm charging, how much was the Essence equivalent? Like I feel it was like a few $100 or $400, and you thought you were capping out there.
Yeah, like the beginning, it was without design and it was just a content strategy intensive, and it was like 800.
Okay.
And then
So
I
it's more
added
expensive.
design, and I made it like 2,000, and then I was like, okay, that's it. I cannot charge more. But now I'm like, no, this is my superpower. This is the core service of Blank Page. Harnessing your personal brand and your social media presence by just being you and showing like your interests and your travel trips, and not always like, oh, sales, client. No.
Yeah.
Testimonials, case studies. It's like, no, just be you, but talk about it.
It seems to me like this would be the good basis for a blended like coaching plus course kind of thing. Like, because what you're describing here is it's almost like a niched version of the blueprint. And I think the thing that's kind of challenging from a marketing perspective for the blueprints, I feel like course culture these days is more niche based, and DYF is kind of like the generalist. But as a generalist, it's hard to, be specifically relevant to anyone, because there are always going to be certain nuances for how a designer would do it versus developer, whatever. A good reference for you as you're planning this out, Joanna Galvao from the DYF podcast episode, her website's, what is it? I think it's The Ambitious Creative. She has like a really long, hard to remember domain name. Let me see if I can. It's The Ambitious Creatives, plural.com. She has like a course plus coaching blended thing. And I think hers is fairly high ticket. Like, I don't really know off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like $4,000 to $8,000. But it's like a pretty intensive coaching thing. And I think she works with just small cohorts. But I'm just skimming through it now. So yeah, that might be a nice reference for you, just for some context of what other people are doing. Because she's blending her ambitious creatives, like course creation business, as one thing that she does with her agency, but she doesn't really have to do much in her agency anymore. So it seems like that's kind of the trajectory that you'd want to move
Yeah,
towards.
you told me to see her stuff. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm gonna get it more. It's more relevant than when I was charging peanuts for the same program. Yeah.
But yeah, I love this idea. And I mean, like, from my perspective, selfishly as Zach from DYF, I'm excited for you to have your social media process like kind of streamlined, perfected, and tested on others, so that it's something that we can use like to teach students in the blueprint. I can pay you to teach people and stuff. That would be really nice for me, because not everyone wants to do the podcast thing. So yeah, you said you wanted my take on this. I mean, I think it sounds cool. What do you want to run by me on it specifically?
I think I'm gonna keep like perfecting the offer and perfecting the journey, because I am mixing a little things now that it's Essence. Like, now that I have 3 calls instead of 2, and there's a coaching call while I'm designing. I ask them to do homework while I design, and it's different homeworks. Like, to 2 clients, I'm asking them to fill in their content like creation dashboard that I gave them, super simple, like Notion, like Kanban board. To other ones, I'm telling them to create a service deck so I can help them design it. Like, just getting people started with like a link in bio, a deck, a little sign up form and a Calendly, and just get them to like go on sales calls, pitch the service, run the service, run it cheap, run it until they perfect it. Kind of like what I did, like create the service, see if it sticks, and then build. So
do you think that if somebody worked with you for Essence or whatever the scaled version of Essence is, where they were a pretty good designer, like let's say it was Molly, right? Molly's a good designer. She's probably not a very good business person. Sounds like she's a newer freelancer. I don't know. If Molly, if you're hearing this, I'm not talking shit. I don't know you. So suppose somebody, Molly or not, is like a pretty good designer. They don't really have a lot of business skills, and they have like 0 social media following. That's like basically if I wanted to vocalize my objection, it's like before I have Maia teach something in DYF, this one objection needs to be solved, which is if I'm a nobody, I have no following, I'm kind of an introvert, I am a good designer, but I'm not good at business. Like, can I do this? What should I do? What are the repeatable steps? So that's my question for you is like, if you were to reverse engineer your process and teach someone to build a personal brand who has literally 0 followers, who's not like a super social media-y type of person, or like a super Instagram-y type of person, do you feel that your process could still work for them, or are there certain prerequisites? And if so, what are those?
absolutely. Like, I think something that I am going to put on the Essence deck is your requisite. You are willing to imperfectly, like imperfectionately, ¿cómo se dice? Imperfectly.
Well, it would be ironic if
Imperfectly.
you can say however you want, because it can be
Like,
imperfect.
like, you have to be willing to imperfectly show up on social media 2 to 3 times a week. On
Okay.
stories, like I will get people to start, and I am doing that with my coaching clients. I'm even doing that with my boyfriend, and I think it's a good idea to document it because he's a poet and he wants to monetize his books. So he's doing Figma, designing his poems. Like, he's doing it himself because he knows how to design, but he's kind of like a proof that that can happen. And I think
And it's already, he's getting traction?
Not yet. He's not posting. We're in the building phase. Generation. Like, I think my way with clients is to fill up that Notion dashboard. I just tell them, do a content bank that has 50 ideas that are fire, develop them, so you don't have to be creating, you just have to see and react to how people are, and you can iterate from there. But I teach people how to not be reactive with social media, but to plan ahead. Responsive, yes, but not reactive.
And I think, the thing that I've been gradually learning is that it sounds like the trick for social media is that it's less about posting and more about like replying to things or something like that. So is there anything about your process of growing your followers, like if someone was in a different niche or if someone was a different type of service, like do you have any red flags, or is the only prerequisite that someone's willing to post 3 times? Like, for example, if someone posts 3 stories a week, but they don't go comment on XYZ number of other posts, perhaps they wouldn't be successful. So what are the other things that you think, like, I don't know if you've looked at any of our conditional guarantees I've been playing with lately, but I've been basically rolling out these like 6-month guarantees where I say, if you do these things and you don't get an ROI in 6 months, you get all your money back.
Wow.
And when creating those kinds of guarantees, you essentially have to ask yourself, what are the things that I know for a fact that if someone does all these things, there's like a 95% chance that they'll succeed. Like, and it's kind of fun because in the process of creating this guarantee, you also can prescribe like what you would want a student to be doing. So in this case, that's what I'm kind of wondering for you. What are the things, if you were to give a 6-month guarantee, like pretend someone was going to pay you $1,000 a month for 6 months. And you were like, if you do these things for 6 months and you haven't gotten at least blank amount of clients, you get all your fucking money back. You probably wouldn't do a guarantee that strong out of the gate, but pretend you did. What would be the things you'd want to like require them to do so that they don't take advantage of it?
Well, obviously, like I've been saying, people like to spend 30 minutes on social media. Like, we do that anyways every day, but just use it to look at accounts that are doing similar things and engaging with accounts that are inspiring and on your niche. So it would be like, you have to completely switch your social media habits. You have to follow everyone that follows you, that is relevant. and you have to spend time in inbound and outbound engagement, and you have to be willing less of following pages and say, hey, I love your page, amazing work. That's what I do with designers, and I even do it with other people, and I do it genuinely, and it really helps me build community. And like replying to comments, like you have to be willing to really take Instagram as a community. Because so not only like I know that, no, go.
No, please. I didn't mean to talk over you.
It's just that it's not that Instagram is the only marketing way, for sure not. I'm actually seeing some fruits from Pinterest, and I'll tell you that in another time. But it's just that you giving people the confidence to own a personal brand. Instagram is a great playground. So that's why I want people to be comfortable with talking to the camera, comfortable with sharing their things, asking the audience questions, and just being happy with being cringy, you know? Just forgetting about like, oh, I'm so cringe. Like, no, you are gonna talk in front of people for money. This is what a lot of people that are working with me want, a community, a course. So they have to get used to that.
Yeah.
This willingness to fail.
Zach Spuckler says this thing that I like where he says like, when you press like publish on a piece of content, you're already doing more than like 95% of people ever do, which I probably doesn't apply as much to social media because, you know, lower barrier to publishing on social. But nonetheless, I like what you're getting at here. That's cool. If we were to distill it one step further though, so instead of 30 minutes, because the thing is, somebody could say, well, I did spend the 30 minutes. I got bad luck. Nothing came from it. The thing about 30 minutes is it's kind of fluffy, soggy, not very like crispy specific. I would like some specific KPIs, like you need to leave 10 comments every day complimenting a new designer's designs. Like that, for example, that's you could have a checklist, you know, and again, framing this in the guarantee, you could say like, submit your checklist to me from the past 6 months of you doing this every day, and I'll give you your money back. Or for me, with the blueprint, for example, one of them will be like, you have to have half your podcast guests or a third of them be other agency owners, for example. That's very easy for me to like go check up on because I can go look at their podcast. And you have to spend 10 hours tracked on Toggle. So I can just send me their Toggle time logs. That one's a little bit more wishy-washy because they could have said they were, quote, doing marketing when really they were just editing their website and they spent like a million hours on their website. But yeah, so if you were to distill this 30 minutes into some like checkmark KPIs, what would those be?
The thing is that Instagram is very relative. You can spend 2 weeks without going, and then you post a reel and it's a banger and you get 200 new followers. Like it's so relative that I think the only thing that I would ask is for consistency. 3 posts a week, aligned with your content themes. Always have your content bank ready to go. Always create videos. Always record yourself doing things. Always save trending audio. Like just getting in the practice of like this, like efficient workflows for creation. Because that would be part of like what I would teach, you know, how to be efficient and how to not let social media consume you. Because that's the number one thing that my clients tell me. It's like, I spend so much time doing social media. And I think of my process and it's like, social media is the reason why I have my business, is the reason why I can pay my bills, honestly. And I don't spend that much time there. So it's all because I have my content bank, because I'm going to be there for 30 minutes. So I'm going to like filter the messages by on read only, reply to every single message that I have. Like it's a business tool. It's not just leisure. And it is changing the habit of social media completely from the core. That would be like a big transformation.
Okay. Well, how about this? So I've got this next call starting in 1 minute. So how about this as a homework assignment if you're down? What I would like you to do, again, only if you're down, is this week, or not if you're busy, because you are busy, but make a checklist of like, I want one checklist that is, and you can just do a Notion or whatever, that is weekly activities. That don't hit a daily cadence. So it's like add 3 posts to your content bank, put 3 posts on your thingy, whatever. That would be like your weekly checklist. But I'd also like a daily checklist, which I'm imagining like a PDF that you could have as a lead magnet, where this daily checklist, there'd be one for a whole week and there would be 7 daily checklists. So like someone could just print out one of these each week and check it off as they do it. But I like all your weekly activities. I'd love you to distill down the daily ones though, so that it's like I want you to think about what kind of outreach should happen. Cause I get the feeling that going out and commenting on other people's stuff is really, really, really important. And
It's
I'd
really
like you to
healthy.
like break that out into an actual daily checklist. We can talk more about it later, but do you like the idea of noodling on this a little bit?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, then I guess for now I'll just do the outro so I can bounce this other call, and I won't even do the outro because the call starts right now. So I'll just say, Maya, great talking to you. Goodbye. Listener, great talking at you. Join the community. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Ciao, Zach. Everyone else,
And I'll hit
stay
stop,
here.
and we won't disconnect.
No. Go.
Cool.
Ciao.
See you guys. Thanks.